Okay, this May the 4th event looks like it's gonna be the best one yet. I mean, not only are we getting a ton of new characters, but we could also fly in an X-Wing! How cool is that? Anyway, going back to cosmetics, we have two new mashup skins, Jedi Eevee and Wookiee Team Leader. One of these definitely looks a lot better than the other, but that's besides the point. I've got a few ideas here, 10 to be exact, of some new Star Wars mashup skins that we could potentially see in Fortnite. Starting off, I gotta see my boy Wildcard get a mashup skin, and I think the perfect mashup skin would be with the Mandalorian, and you could call him the Cardalorian. Of course, I'm going to want Wildcard to have a mashup skin, he's my main skin, but come on, the Mandalorian with Wildcard would be so cool! Wildcard is already kind of like a smuggler, and I mean, I know Mandalorians aren't smugglers, but you could make the lore work. I just really want to see this happen. It's too cool to pass up. Now, the last time that we got mashup skins, most of the skins, if not all of them, were iconic Fortnite characters. Jones, Bright Bomber, Peely, Meowscles, and so on. So, I think it is a very high likelihood that we are going to get Wookiee Peely. Peely is known as a joke character in Fortnite, and Chewbacca is not necessarily a joke in Star Wars, but the Wookiees definitely are. So combining the two just made the most amount of sense to me. Now, if you're gonna have a mashup of Chewbacca, you better have a mashup for Han Solo. And if you have a mashup of Han Solo, you kinda need Luke and Leia to both get a mashup. So, I bet we are gonna get a Jones Luke Skywalker, a Bright Bomber Leia, and a Midas Han Solo. Now, I picked these three Fortnite characters to go with those three Star Wars characters because the three Fortnite characters are very iconic to the game. I mean, Bright Bomber was one of the very first skins, Jones was one of the very first skins a part of the story, and Midas, I mean, he's just iconic to the game. So, with that being said, that is why I chose those three characters to go with the other Star Wars characters. Granted, you could mix them around. I could easily see Jones as Han Solo if you're gonna get a Wookiee Peely, because Jones and Peely are known to be best friends, but I feel like Luke and Jones make the most amount of sense to be mashed up together. Okay, this next idea, it's not gonna sound good, but with my second idea after this, you'll understand why. Meowscles with C-3PO. Hear me out. The reason why I say this is because, one, a buff C-3PO would be the funniest thing that Star Wars could ever do, and two, we could get Kit with R2-D2, thus explaining why I chose Meowscles for C-3PO, because Kit will be R2-D2. R2-D2 in Fortnite currently is just a back bling, same with C-3PO. So Meowscles being a mashup with C-3PO and Kit being a mashup of R2-D2, I'm guessing it wouldn't be essentially, oh, this character is made of gold and this character is really small and on wheels. I bet they would just have outfits that are similar looking to C-3PO and R2-D2. Perhaps Kit's mech could be themed around R2-D2. And just like with the Cardalorian, I think this idea is too good to pass up. Now that we have almost all of the good guys from the original trilogy, what about the big bad, Darth Vader? What about we got Black Knight mixed with Darth Vader? Even though I think that Black Knight is not as iconic as other characters like Peely, Bright Bomber, and Jones, Black Knight does still have a good foundation of fans. So having him be mashed up with Darth Vader, I think that's an awesome idea. And if I'm being honest, I think this would be a lot better of a reskin than the Japanese Darth Vader. Not saying the Japanese Darth Vader is bad, the Black Knight mashup would just be a lot better. So now that we have the good guys and the bad guy, what about the bad guy's minions, the Stormtroopers? What about Tomato Head with the Stormtrooper? Now, the reason why I chose Tomato Head for this one in particular is because I think all of the food characters with the really wacky helmets would work really good with either a Stormtrooper, a Clone Trooper, a Sith Trooper, First Order Trooper, whichever one. those characters would work with a mashup skin with any of the troopers. And considering Stormtroopers are probably the most iconic trooper, Tomato Head with Stormtrooper would need to be the first one. For my 10th and final idea, this one is going to be a little bit confusing because it is going to be Sentinel mashed up with an X-Wing. Now, I do want to mention something before I talk about him. Evie is not an iconic Fortnite skin. She is a good skin, very hot, but not iconic. So giving her the mashup skin really gives Epic Games the chance to give any Fortnite skin a mashup. This is why I chose Sentinel to be an X-Wing. Now also, an X-Wing is not a character. I know, big shocker. But we have not seen a reskin for a lot of the old Battle Pass skins, Sentinel being one of them. And a mashup skin where he's themed around a vehicle would be awesome, especially if that vehicle is an X-Wing! Perhaps he could get some other styles with the other Star Wars ships, maybe like the Millennium Falcon or even the Death Star. But I think his base style should be themed around an X-Wing because honestly, I think the X-Wing is a lot more iconic than the Millennium Falcon in Star Wars. I might be wrong, but I'm fairly confident to say that. All in all, I just really want some more mashup skins. I think it is a really cool thing that Epic Games actually does this for their own characters because their characters were inspired by other media. Rustlord, the Reaper, the other one. They were all inspired by other characters in pop culture. So giving those characters the chance to actually be them, it's pretty cool. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to use code DeltaTheWildcard in the Fortnite item shop to get 0% off your next bundle. And I'll see you on the next one. God bless and goodbye for now.